not told you as soon as I get more boxes for Rivals or Heroes, I would open it for the Limit Over Collection, which features a brand new Grandmaster Serialized rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Well, yeah, so two things. One of my Heroes packages got lost. It literally arrived in my P.O. box and then got sent back, and now it's being sent back again here. Whenever I get that, I'm opening that as well. It's literally from something ordered like a long time ago. But a batch of Rivals boxes that I ordered at launch finally got here. So we're gonna go ahead and open that, and let's see what we got. Again, I'm not really chasing or pursuing any Grandmasters. It's weird because, like, if you're not pursuing it while you're opening it, because I got to experience, this stuff at least once, and I've opened Rivals once. Did I even upload that? I think I uploaded it. Didn't get much out of it, and then I realized I don't really like the Rival set as much. At least with the Hero set, there's a lot of cards I want inside of that, outside of just, the, what else in here? Outside of just the Grandmaster. As you guys know me, I play the game. Not that I can use the Japanese OCG cards, but I play the game, so I appreciate the cards a bit more than the average person who's just, I'm opening for Grandmaster rares. No, not to knock anybody, but yeah. I want that to be clear, because there's some people who are like, oh, he's talking about not chasing Grandmasters, but he clearly is. No, I'm not, because I know serialized cards are impossible to pull. If you get chosen to pick one, you got chosen. For me, it was, I won a lot of cards in the set. I'm happy because I literally pulled everything except for the Dark Magician, which I've not gotten yet, and I technically haven't pulled Dark Magic Curtain, but I did actually end up getting one, as you guys saw in the beginning. As far as Rivals, I don't really like the set at all. I've realized that there's only one card I want, which you can see Diabels is in the back. That's in there. I technically pulled a an LZ, but I don't really need LZ. Like, she's not my favorite card. It's just a card that's an archetype within the deck that I play, which is White Forest. But really, the only one I really want probably will be a prismatic copy of the Diabels. And if I pull that, great. If not, I tried. Also, I realized a lot of the cards, like there's LZ, a lot of the cards in this set, speaking of Diabels, a lot of cards in this set are just not that cool. Back over here to be next to your sister over here. They're not that great. I mean, like, that first card was Deck Lockdown, which is a toxic card. Play Deck Lockdown, you have no friends. I said what I said. You got different Dimension Ground. I think that's what it's called. Another card that if you play that, you have no friends. Ooh, we got Dengirsu. That's a cool card. But other than that, not the biggest fan, like I said. At this point, I'm only opening 2 batches of Rivals. I think this might be actually the 3rd. Just to say I opened it and did it. And then now we move on to wait for the next set, which is going to be... this card's insane, by the way. A lot of people on Twitter try to tell me this card is whatever. It's not that scary. This card is insane. If this card resolves, you lose everything. It's literally the 2026 version of Chaos Emperor Dragon, which was one of the most iconic cards of the old era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Which birthed the Forbidden List. Before we had a Limited List. We got a Forbidden List after that. Ooh, Nash Knight for our Prismatic. Not a bad card. It's played right now. It's very, very popular in K9. I'm probably speaking hieroglyphics to some of you guys. It's like, what is he saying? What is a K9? What is all this? We got the new Photon Dragon. Oh, this is a good hit. Fantastic card. I actually love some of these archetypes that they added, or I guess staples, themes, whatever you want to call it. Lordly Low is a fantastic theme that you play amongst normal monsters. Amphetamine, especially Blue Eyes, it's very, very good. Everything else, kind of whatever. 7 Tachyon, another great card. Right, that's 7 Tachyon. Or the one that goes to ROM with it. It has a very similar art to another Tachyon card. I hate that card. I hate this card. This card is annoying because in Master Duel, when they activate this, it makes everything banish while this is on the field, and you have to destroy it. Which I find ways to pop it very easily, but the problem is when this is popped, it searches Max C. And to those who don't know what Max C is a card that says every time your opponent special summons, you draw a card. It's an auto-win card. And Max C is a card that's been very controversial for a very long time. In Master Duel, it's finally at 1, but now it doesn't matter because Retaliating C is a very popular card. So if that gets outed, if you don't out it, you just lose. If that gets outed, then you just search Max C and then you still win. Keep it in the field, then you just win because you flood your opponent out. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game. It is quite the game. Alright. Next we have Gamma. It's a card I'm happy is at 1. Gamma is an insane card. For Gamma to be ran, you have to run side frame driver, which is, I just passed it. It's this card right here. It's a big brick. But if you can fit Gamma in, back when it was at 3, it's just a negate to like anything. Sure, you can Ash it, but then you can just activate it the next turn, or I guess the next play, because it's not once per turn. But it's just like during the Maxi era, especially, it was awful. Ooh, there's our full art, Rebellion Dragon. During the what was I about to say? Oh, yeah, like when it was at 3, even at 2 in Master Duel, they would activate that. You Ash Blossom Maxi. Well, you would do a summon. They would chain Maxi. You would stop it, and then they would just chain Gamma, and then their Maxi goes through, and they got 2 bodies. It's like, it was the worst. It like guaranteed Maxi to go through. It's crazy how a card like Maxi can just absolutely warp everything in Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's some like believers out there who are like, Maxi's fine. If you don't want to lose to Maxi, stop playing a deck that summons a lot. That's literally every deck. Something that boomers need to accept and understand is Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very much combo driven nowadays, where you're going to be summoning a lot. It's part of the game. It's no different than setting 3 and ending your turn, back in the day. Now you instead of setting 2 and passing, you summon a couple times and then you pass. And then to activate Maxi, just an auto win. Then the worst part is like you get the people who are like, but we needed to go second because going second is so weak. The Mulch armies exist, man. Mulch armies is like the best way to handle hand traps. Like, they do great. They will slow down the turn 1 player very, very well, which will allow you to have a better chance when it's your turn. And they do it in a way that's not incredibly broken and unbalanced. And then you can't blast it when you go next turn. Because when people do a Max C's, they set up the board, and then when they pass over to you, they blast Max C, and then it's like, cool. So now, not only do you have to break your board, but you're going to be drawing every possible hand trap that you can also activate on top of the unbreakable board that you build. That's something that people just don't understand. I don't get that one either. So it's got to be just people who just can't win a single game at locals. Ones who are stuck in like silver rank in Master Duel. Not to knock y'all, but I'm knocking y'all. That's the best way to describe it. Card sucks. It needs to go. It needs to be eradicated from this planet. As far as the game though, I almost said Master Duel. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in a pretty good spot right about now. What I like about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is it's becoming a lot cheaper compared to like a year ago. You can literally go get the new starter decks that will just release, which features Mitsurugi and Sky Striker. Sky Striker is a pretty fun deck too, that a lot of people new to Yu-Gi-Oh! Would absolutely love. It's $30. You can get the full deck for $30. And if you buy 2 of those for like 60, you're good to go. Like, that's it. You have a deck that people are taking to like major events and winning. That's the crazy part. Obviously, it comes down to being a pilot, and you gotta learn the ins and outs. And not everyone wants to learn, but just say the game is unobtainable right now because it's too expensive is crazy. There are some decks that can be pricey, especially if you're going for max rarity. But if you're just going for like a basic deck, you can get something pretty cheap. So the game's cheaper than ever. Also, it's pretty balanced right now. You don't have too many crazy broken decks in the meta. I know someone's going to disagree, but if that's you, I'm just guaranteeing that you're playing something bulk worthy. Oh, there's the Abyss Dragon. This one actually just sold for a lot of money in Grandmaster Rare, but it was the 1 out of 100. I think the only reason why it sold for as much as it did was because it's literally 1 out of 100. It's cool. I actually like this art, but this being the one that like is the most expensive at the moment was crazy. But again, serials actually matter. If you get like a 69, 67 probably, Oruxin was 34, or 1 out of 100, or 100 out of 100. Those are like cool numbers that people just like, like. And it might pay an extra bit of money just to have that number. It's funny how stuff varies so much. So for example, there's a Grandmaster Dark Magician Girl Asian edition. So it says something out of 100A. That's listed on eBay for like 20 grand. But the out of 100 variants are like way more expensive because the one in Japan wants the Asian ones. They want the original ones, even though they're both original because they came at the same time. This is my 3rd copy of this. This is my 3rd copy of this Lady Labyrinth. But yeah, they don't like the ones for, and then there's me who's like, I don't care if it says 100A, G, F. LMNOP. Like, if it's a serialized card and it's got Dark Magic Curtain, I want that shit. Try to get my hands on a, I think it was, I forgot what number it was, but someone pulled a Dark Magic Curtain, and I definitely had like a pretty good offer for it. And then they asked what else I can add to it. I was like, all right, we're done here. We're done here. I'm just gonna go get the Asian version, call it a day if I want to. There she is again, Dia Bells. Hang on in the back. We're not gonna get anything else in this box because we did pull the prismatic already, and then we got a Abyss Dragon full art. Well, I will say about Rivals, my luck has been so bad with Rivals because I keep getting overframes that are just regular ultra rare. Whereas in Heroes, granted I opened way more in Heroes, but even when I opened Heroes in the beginning, I was getting so lucky with the prismatics. Like, it was crazy. But with these, it's like, oof, we are just not lucky at all. You know what's funny? One of these days, I'm gonna have such a crazy pull that's gonna cause me to upload this to my main channel, where it's like, all right, I'm posting this in the main. I'll be honest with you, if I ever get in a situation where I pull like a Grandmaster Blue Eyes, that is 100% going to my main channel. And people are gonna be like, you do card openings? Yeah. Algorithm won't ever show you that because, one, I'm not as active in the second channel. But absolutely, like, that would go on the main channel because we just gotta show off like the craziness that just happened. The funny thing is it will be uploaded to such a foreign crowd where people don't really know what cards are. Normies, I should say. We don't keep up as much, and they're gonna be like, that card is worth that much? No, it's not. Oh, it is. It's 1 out of 100. So there's part of me that hopes I don't pull it. It's kind of a curse. It's weird. It's kind of a curse to pull a Grandmaster right now because everyone who I've seen pull the Grandmaster, oh my god, has had like an interesting response where people are either mad at you for being lucky, or then there's people who are just so uninformed, and it's like, do I really want that attention? I don't even know. But of course, you would have to be a specific Grandmaster. If I pull like a regular Grandmaster, that's gonna go on the second channel. The main channel will be reserved to only if I pull, like, let's say, a Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magic Curtain. Finally, a overframe that's a prismatic. It's just a not Overload Fusion, it's something else. Alright, so this box is dead then. We can just honestly just kind of sift through it real quick. Again, if you're new here, the way these boxes work, you get 1 prismatic per box, 1 overframe. I saw some people were complaining that the first overframes that we're getting in English, that's going to be in Rarity Collection 5, is not guaranteed an overframe per box. And on top of that, it's not guaranteed that it's going to be like, you know, Starlight or anything. It's either, if you get lucky enough to pull an overframe, either it's an ultra rare or it's a prismatic, or for us it's called Starlight. And honestly, I think that's good. Overframes should not be as easy to pull as they are in the OCG. It should be like a treat, basically. You know, that's what makes collecting collector worthy. Like, it's a chase, an actual chase. If it was 1 per box, which honestly I expected that they were gonna fumble and do 1 per box. If it's 1 per box, you just kind of like, you know, you take away the value of the full art. So it should be difficult. And I believe from what I'm hearing, and someone who's got a chance to open it early, the Starlights are the same pull rates that we used to have with Starlights back in the day. That was before QCRs. And to explain, Starlights used to be 1 per like 3 cases or something like that. So if you happen to pull a Starlight, it was a money card. That's why they were so expensive, especially. That's why cards like the original Appaloosa were thousands of dollars at one point. Because you had to like deal with, number one, the players who wanted it, and also the ones who just wanted to collect it. Not to say Appaloosa is more of a collector card, but it was like, you know, someone who's a like, I like Appaloosa. I would definitely collect Appaloosa if I could have back then. I feel like, to me, it was so, like, because of how rare Starlights were, I feel weird playing them. So me, I would never play Starlights, which is why I was a big fan of QCRs, because it gave you like that, you know, luxury rare while also maintaining prices, so they weren't like $1 billion. Because, for example, Mirror Jade was a card was like $400. It never got a reprint in QCR, and that card still stayed 400 plus. Like, it's expensive. I was hoping they would do a reprint on that just so I can have it in my deck. But I would probably never play the QCR version of Mirror Jade just because of how expensive and rare it is. And now we're getting, like, of course, the full art version of it, which is going to be in that's in the first set, right? Yeah, it's in, that and Dragoon are in the first set. And even then, that card's expensive right now. I think on pre-order prices, the Starlight variants of Dragoon and Mirror Jade both sold for like 500 a piece. Which is crazy. Luckily, you only tend to run one copy of each, and if you play Brandon, maybe you run 2 Mirror Jades. But yeah, at least that would be more obtainable. And then we got another one of these stupid Rebellion Dragons. That's crazy. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is interesting because, like, a lot of people who are just, you know, entering for the collector space don't understand how popular the game actually is in regards to players. So they'll pull cards like Rebellion Dragon over here and be like, I'm going to grade this. And then no one's going to want a PSA 10 of it, except for, like, that one person who just happens to be a big Rebellion Dragon fan. Everybody else wants it, and it's expensive because they're trying to play it. That's why also watching Limited Over Collection box openings is funny because, like, nobody knows what these cards usually are. So they're like only looking for the Grandmasters, maybe a prismatic full overframe, and then they'll hit a card where it's like, that card's expensive. Fluvalos literally, come on, dog. Fluvalos literally is like a $200 card because they never had that rarity yet for the Molcharmies hero set. As far as rivals, it's really nothing crazy in here. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're a K9 player, you might want the Nash Knight. Maybe Cyber Dragon players will want that Prismatic I just pulled. But everything else is kind of like whatever, you know? Alright. Well, this is going to be the last time we open Rivals on the channel for sure. I just don't really care about the set as much. Well, I would love to pull the Diabels. I also don't care enough to spend hundreds of dollars on more boxes to pull bulk. Very expensive hobby to be into cards, you know. I mean, obviously I do it for content, but at some point you gotta stop losing money and just move on. At least with Heroes, there was a lot of stuff in that set that I personally wanted to pull, so I justified it that way. And, you know, off chance that, you know, a Grandmaster happened, that's a big bonus. But yeah, the last you'll see for Limit Over Collection will be my Heroes boxes that should arrive soon. Again, I ordered it from the same buyer, shout out to Cats Collectibles. For some reason, it arrived. I got the notification it arrived in my P.O. box. I went to pick it up. They're like, it's not here. I'm like, well, where is it? I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? And then I came back the next day because they told me to. And then the next day, they're like, yeah, we still don't have it. We didn't know it was scanned at another location. I'm like, well, can you get it? And then I get a notification the next day that it was back in Florida. I'm like, huh? How? How did y'all, USPS, how did y'all fuck up that bad? I will say I am done with Limit Over Collection Heroes because I pulled everything I needed out of that. Pretty much. The only reason why I got those 2 boxes, like I said, I bought them weeks ago. And due to the nature of like how hard it is to get your hands on these, that's why it's such a delay to get them. All right, question is what will be my last overframe? Will it be the Blue Eyes? Blue Eyes Prismatic to end it with this will be hype. And there's also the Diabels, which would be really hype. Lordy Low is pretty good. It's a very good card. Very good engine. Let's see what we got. I think this might be something shiny, unless I'm tripping. It was shiny, just to collect the rare. I just don't want to see another ultra rare overframe. I've seen so many in Rivals that like it's like ugh. My luck with Rivals is so ass. Okay. Getting pretty close to something hype. At least I hope. Nash Knight. A Retaliating Sea. Quick launch, I think. And Gravekeeper's Inscription. Pretty toxic card. Like how Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a lot of cards that actually make going first so crazy. Because some of these cards, you know, Gravekeeper's Inscription, if I remember correctly, you activate on your turn, and then until the end of the next turn, whatever effect you chose, that'll be active. So it's like you set up your board, you activate that, and then you shut off your opponent from playing. Primite Roar for our Prismatic. I mean, it's not bad. Maybe I'll throw it into the bulk that I send back to Japan, and it'll do something. But it's not the best one. And also, we didn't get our chase. We got Different Dimension Ground. We got the big scary eyeball, which is a new card. If I remember correctly, I read that it looked like it did something crazy, but then there was one line in the code that was like, oh, this is not that good actually. Keldo. We got this isn't an Allure card, right? I actually don't know. I don't recognize. Here's the non-full art version of the card we pulled. And then different dimension ground. We are really cooking this last pack over here. Rivalry toxic card. Gamma. We got Cock Machine Gun guy. And then we got a Nightmare Phoenix. Ultimate rare. Prismatic ultimate rare. Alright. Now this is Allure Queen, right? This one Allure cards. Nash Knight 2.0. There's Diabels again. Then we got Rebellion Dragon and non-full art. Damn, they're really making us wait for this last one. Plot was the last box doesn't even have a full art. That'd be crazy. Wyvern Dragon. We got Dingirsu. Ho ho ho! That is cool. That is a cool one. This card sucks, but this is a cool one to end and all, because between this and the Blue Eyes, those are our biggest chases for the overframes. To explain why this card sucks, you know, someone's going to disagree here, but let me explain to you why. This card says if you control a spellcaster, you get to summon a dragon from your deck. If your opponent has, I think, 2 more monsters, you get to summon 2 dragons. The problem with this is you have to have said spellcaster, which automatically makes this card a brick if you don't open up with a spellcaster. I mean, sure, you can like get your ratios right where you have like 8 spellcasters, let's say, in your deck. I know we have like Dictator or D as a spellcaster, which is, you know, he's obviously in the screenshot. You have one of the all the tuners. I think some of them are spellcasters. Maiden is a spellcaster, I believe. You know, you got a handful of spellcasters that, you know, will activate this. The problem is you don't always open with it, and unfortunately ratios do happen. So if you get a situation where, let's say, you have 2 of these in your deck, and let's say you open with both of them but no spellcaster, now you have like 3 dead cards in your hand. That doesn't do anything. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, even though every card is as important as the next, when you have cards that hold your entire opening hand back, that's the problem. The thing about Curtain is great. Curtain you can just activate, and Curtain says you can summon a spellcaster from your deck, and then your opponent can do so as well, and then the effects are negated. The whole idea of Curtain is you activate Curtain. If they don't Ash Blossom it, you summon Dark Magician. From there, you can go into Dark Magician of Destruction, and then you can go into Dragoon. Right then and there, it's an instant Dragoon. And you can just activate it. And giving your opponent a card is actually good, because there's also some cards that activate depending on if your opponent has something on the field. And if you have Imperm, it kills Imperm, basically, because Imperm you can activate from hand if you control no monsters. So if you don't Ash Blossom Curtain, you just kill the Imperm in your hand. You have to set it, and then wait another turn before you can flip it. This is cool art-wise, but player-wise is not a good card. But you know what? I'm happy that we pulled this on our finale for the Rivals opening. That's hype. It would be even cool if we finished it with the Diabels as well. But again, that card is not like expensive or anything. I can just buy one if I really want one. And whenever we get that in English, I'll just chase it in English, assuming that we get a Starlight version of it as well. But this is hype. This is cool. This is a nice way to end it. We get the iconic Blue Eyes. Is this Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, or is it just 3? Okay, no, it is just 3. It's just 3 Blue Eyes in the background, just making sure. Also, it doesn't even look like Ultimate Dragon. Ultimate Dragon slightly has a different design. All right, that's a W. That's a W. I was about to say, we're about to end it on pulling like another one of these lame overframes. Then call it. Now, as you guys already know, that is your full art for the box. They do not have extras for Grandmasters, unfortunately, which I feel like they should have had. Because when you don't, it encourages you to take, you know, the bulk packs you have left and just resell them. Like, there's nothing stopping from being like, all right, cool, we'll open the rest of these and then I'll list them online, and then some sucker buys them and then gets nothing out of it. Unfortunately, that just be the case sometimes. But I never trust buying loose packs of anything online. Finale, we got Nemesis Flag. Very, very toxic card. Because when Nemesis Flag resolves, guess what's happening in the next couple of turns, or I guess in a couple seconds. Thunder Dragon Colossus is going to hit your field, because with Nemesis Flag, they search Nemesis Corridor, banish a card, summon it, effects activate it, it turns to Thunder Dragon Colossus. I know my stuff. I played it. It's very, very cool. All right, not bad actually. Pulled For the 5 boxes, we got 2 prismatic overframes, which I've already pulled this, but not in this rarity. We got the Abyss Dragon and 2 Rebellion Dragons, unfortunately. It is what it is. But hey, I got one of my chases. One of the only 2 chases I have in this set. So yeah, stay tuned for more. As soon as I get those Heroes boxes, we'll do a final video on those. There should be 2 different videos, so you'll get at least 2 of those. Other than that, I guess I'll see you guys next time when we get more, number 1, stuff to open, and 2, we get more overframes in the near future. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the comment section below.